welcome to today's webinar. I am Skylar with Lean Frontiers. Just a quick reminder, from now until the end of November, we do have a special going on with the TWI and Kata Summit that is happening in April. Also, like I just said, that summit is in April. Coming up very, very soon. Oscar, if you are ready, I do think everyone, for the most part, has kind of logged in. So
Good.
we are ready.
Well, let's go. And I apologize. I'm on the other side of the world. Obviously, I've woken up this morning with a croaky voice. So apologies for that, everyone. So thanks again, as always, Lean Frontiers, for making the effort to put this webinar together. A lot of stuff goes on behind the scenes, and I appreciate that. So welcome all those who have joined. Church and Dwight, the organisation behind, I've just got a script, an introductory script I'll go through. The organisation behind famous brands like Arm& Hammer, Batiste, and Curash have an internal lean program, and there are essentially three levels. First is bronze. Improvement relies on supervisors' actions. Second is silver. Improvement is supervisory led. Floor staff are involved. And the third essential level is improvement gold. Improvement is soundly based on fully engaged floor staff. So the background as to how we got here is that Church and Dwight. Now I should have asked for a pronunciation of this, Diego. How do you say that town name? Mississauga, is it?
Mississauga, yeah.
Mississauga Distribution Centres, Jacob Diflorio, Vincent Adams, and Diego Torres had a collective goal to increase their Canadian site's lean status from bronze to silver and gain momentum towards gold. To build this traction through scientific thinking, they attended our Kata 10-hour training immediately post this year's KataCon in March in Indiana. Through that, sufficient confidence was gained through practice during the 10-hour to go back to their sites and get started. Mentoring has confirmed they're on track. Now they have positive outcomes and learnings to share. That's how we've got to here today. But before we get into the detail there, I've got a question for each of the three of you. If you could answer it one at a time, and as succinctly and briefly as you can, sum up in two or three sentences what has a deliberate effort to think scientifically done for you. So, Jacob, perhaps if you could go first, what is a deliberate effort to think scientifically done for you?
Yeah, I think when we all went to Kata together, having the whole team there and management kind of buy in to the whole scientific thinking allowed for us to spread it really quickly through the Mississauga organization. So, by doing that, we were able to stay consistent and embrace failure, which was something that we had struggled with before at all levels. So it was great to have that buy-in to kind of match everything.
Beautiful. I love the comment of embracing failure. I think that's something we misuse that word terribly in the scientific thinking world. Well said. Vincent, how about you? What was the deliberate effort to think scientifically? What's it done for you?
Yeah, so what it's done for us actually is it's really developed us as a team, right? So to be able to have my staff on the floor come up with creative ideas and then to bring that up and then to even implement them and to test them out and see how it goes, it's been huge and impactful for my team.
Excellent. Good stuff. Thanks. Diego, last but not least.
Well, for me particularly is to see how the team accelerated the way that they learn. So this is not how the management dictates how things are going to be done. It's now coming from the floor, and for every level, people are learning, are able to go and see things, get the facts, experiment, and come back with ideas.
Good. And yeah, one of the things that's become more and more apparent to me as time has gone on with this is that the real fact gathering, if you like, almost occurs when people are experimenting. So I really like the way you brought that in, Diego. It's possibly the most overlooked part of practicing scientific thinking, I think, is that ability to run a workplace experiment. So we've Jacob, then we're going to have some background, some information and some content from each of the three. Jacob, then Diego, and then Vincent. And Jacob, you're going to go first as I understand it. Now, just a note I have is one of your key takeaways that you want to share during this webinar is the importance of leadership buy-in for the success of the Carter program. So I'm assuming could you please talk to that? And then I guess the slides will follow.
Sure. So yeah, so we had a journey we've been on from an internal lean audit that started from basically bronze, silver, gold. So we were right in between the bronze and silver when we did our Kata coaching. And I really feel like Kata helped us advance from bronze to silver, because we were able to accelerate deployment through management buy-in. Like I had mentioned, we were able to move from scientific thinking at pretty much no level to all levels, like both at management and on the floor. And that was huge. So having everyone attend together, it really secured that senior leadership commitment as it saw how Kata creates a structured routine for problem solving and continuous improvement. So it enabled us really to fast track implementation before the assessment, and we were ultimately able to achieve that silver recognition. And really, we noticed that the daily kata routines really strengthened our problem solving and tier meetings with the cascade, which Diego is going to talk about in a little bit. Those disciplined PDCA cycles, they drove SQDC results and the visual progress, which are part of our lean pillars. And yeah, ultimately, we achieved it with a 3.07 average across the lean pillars. So it really gave us that extra push we needed to get there.
So, Jacob, can you just expand on, because this is a question we get all the time, and
Hmm.
I think sometimes I've got to be careful what I say here, but I think sometimes it's a bit of a cop out, but quite often it's genuine. To get that initial, what do you just expand on that management buy-in bit? Like, are you talking about yourselves as management buying into it, or the levels above?
Yeah, levels above. So Diego being my boss and Vince working as the warehouse manager, having them attend the training with me
Ah,
really allowed it to flourish because Diego had the skills to coach me. And then we were able to bounce ideas off each other. And then Diego was coaching Vince, and Vince was coaching supervisors, and supervisors were coaching floor staff. But we had the skills with the right people in the right positions to make it work.
sure. So it's not really convincing the management above Diego. It was the fact that there was a line of management, if you like, vertical down the
Mhm.
business that was all and it's present right now. But you all started at the same point. Is that really what you're saying? Yeah.
Yes, exactly. Yeah.
But
Okay.
it's
So
but it's actually also um, the head of the department who is also with us here today that he also bought in and he
Hmm.
also allowed us to experiment
Hmm.
all the way on this. So we really appreciate Peter's help because without his support, we wouldn't be able to accomplish this.
yeah, okay. So Peter's your boss, Diego, is that right?
Yes, yes.
So, could you expand a little bit? Because I know people will be interested in this. And it's a pity Peter can't speak for himself, but maybe you can, Diego. What was it that got Peter to think, well, it's worth sending these three to Carticon, it's worth sending these three off to do the 10 hour? What was it that made him realize that this may be something worth trying?
So
Yeah. Hey,
yeah, Peter,
Diego.
you can talk.
Yeah, I'm
Oh,
not
he's
sure who I
here.
was
Hey,
projecting
Peter.
on here. Hey, team.
Hello,
Uh,
Peter. I don't think we've
listen,
met before. How are you?
no, I'm good, thank you. And yeah, I mean, listen, at the end of the day, in the spirit of continuous improvement, right? Of a new way of thinking, of trying something different. It's incumbent as us as leaders to support our team, right? And to support individuals to try new things. You never know what results we may get, but we'll never learn if we don't try. So, for Diego, for Jacob, for Vince, um, and for me, it's always key that sometimes it's important to think outside of the box and try something new. And the results here speak for themselves. So I'll leave it to the team to kind of take us through everything.
Peter, just if I can grab you, you're obviously willing to take, and this is going to come across wrong, to take a gamble You were willing to put your neck out to say, well, we're going to try this and we're going to see what happens. What's your advice to managers at your level that sometimes are not so willing to do that?
Yeah, listen, I mean there isn't any one rule, right? But at the end of the day, I think it's just you know, believe in your team, and I'm sure the majority of people here believe in their team, and just have a timeline as best as you can, high level, and give your team the opportunity, right? And if if people are open to change and to try something else, I mean, generally speaking, the results will work in your favor, or if they don't, at least you take a strong learning. And frankly, Oscar, that works
Well,
also in terms of, I have I have a manager and I have bosses above me who also believe, right, and believe in me, and that works its way down, right? So they take
very
a
well said.
gamble, they take gambles, so I'll take some gambles as well, I guess. Yeah,
Good. Very well said. And thanks, Peter, for jumping in without any
no
warning that that
problem.
was going to happen.
Thank you.
Appreciate it. So, Jacob, back to you. If you would like to
Yeah,
keep
I
going with
think
where
we're
you
gonna
were at.
go to Diego now. You want to go ahead, Diego?
Okay, so this is just a reference of the whole chicanery planning that we usually follow. And the first part is the annual strategic planning comes from uh, the executives. So it's about Peter's level. So our top boss, Carlos, set the breakthroughs or the for 1 or 3 years of strategic planning. Then those initiatives have a breakdown. It goes to department, to Peter level. But the most important part that I think we can highlight here that happens is the monthly PDCA. Why? Because we incorporated Kata in there. So different members of the team are coming and presenting what is the challenge, what is the current condition, what is the target condition, and all those experimentations that they did. And then also are able to explain in a meeting that is consistent of different members of the department and express what is their next step, what did they learn. So it's a constant learn for our department here in Mississauga, right? So it's also part of how we align our resources and consistently pursue long-term objectives. So that's part of our housing country planning, the modifications that we did. So Jacob, if you can go to the next one, please.
Just hold on, Diego. Can you go
Yes.
back? I've got a question, please. Just go back to that slide. So, with your monthly PDCA reviews, pardon me, can you expand on that a little bit, please? I think people may well be interested in that. Is that one PDCA cycle based on an element of the strategy, or is it a number of PDCA cycles that are
It's
going on at once,
no, it's
aligned with the
based
strategy, and you review them monthly?
exactly. So it's based on the strategy. It's based on the strategy, and we define those clear challenges there. So the challenges are linked to those strategic initiatives that we have. And then the PDCA comes and explain as a CATA, what are the experimentations? What were the challenges that we define and those obstacles, the parking lot that we have there? And people are able to tell what did they learn, what are they doing, but it's all linked to that strategy points that are defined by department, and they are also linked to the breakthrough, the strategy that defined for 1 to 3 years.
Sure. Another reason I love this thinking, excuse me, is that at the end of the day, strategy is a hypothesis. We believe that if we aim for this, we'll achieve that, we'll get these results. But it is a hypothesis because we don't know, and we arrange strategies, or we come up with a strategy from the maximum point of uncertainty. We'll never be more uncertain now than about 3 years ahead than right now. So that really, the scientific thinking really lends itself to approaching, or how we approach our strategy. So I love that concept. So do you do this just for the warehouse, or is it for the whole site?
we do it for Mississauga for supply chain. So for
Yeah, right.
Peter's department, so Peter participates in that meeting, and other members of the team managers, other managers for demand planning, supply planning, and many other members that are not managers, they come to participate and talk. So what we believe here is that we need to be open, transparent, and give the opportunity to other members of the team, but being accountable. What are we accountable for? And those experimentations are making them more accountable because they are the ones who are going out there, getting the facts, experiment, go to the site. It's similar to the Gemba. They do that. They do a Gemba in their daily jobs, transportation, demand planning, inventory management. They're all going and experiment. And sometimes the results are not there. And then we need to get together and realign.
Yeah, exactly. So results are not there. It's not failure. Results are not there. So we've learned something. So we need to realign. We need to adjust the A of, or the ACT, the A of PDCA. Really well said. I should have said at the start of the webinar, if we've got time at the end, I've got a couple of questions from being submitted. But anyone, if you want to submit a question as we're talking to any of the three, please do so in the Q&A, and I'll keep an eye on that. Okay, so sorry, I broke your flow. Please keep going, Diego, with the next slide.
No problem. So what is this is reinforced. If you click again, Jacob, please. So this is the regular chart that we observe. So the vision, then the cat's ball model, and then the PDCA that you see there. But what is this blended improved strategy for us since we learned Kata with you is we use Hoshi Camry as a process for developing our people through coaching and problem solving. So they are learning to solve problems. They are using scientific thinking to solve the problems, not only the daily problems that I mentioned in the next one, combining Hoshi Henry, Kata, and Kaizen, but is how they start thinking scientifically for big obstacles and the daily obstacles that they might face.
So just a question on that. I think you'll have seen different, for this is for any of you, you'll have seen different reactions from different people. You said you're learning to solve problems via scientific thinking. Have you seen an overall jump into that, or do some people jump into it more readily than others?
It's a routine. It takes time. Like anything in life, you do little steps and then it becomes a routine and then it's adopted. So it took time, but Jacob, Vincent, and I working together, and then some other members start joining more, and we're doing something interesting that Jacob is gonna mention after. Uh, and it's also the participation of new members of the team, right? Things like that. But
Yeah.
certainly is we see a change in how people are now facing problems or facing challenges. They are able to be bold, to experiment, to think
Yes.
differently, and bring new ideas that sometimes they might be not feasible at the moment, but later on in the future might be.
What you've made me think of, and I don't know if you guys remember it, but during the training in April, I put up a picture, a slide that showed a person standing on a bus holding onto the handle in the bus, the airport bus, transfer from terminal to plane, as it goes around a corner, and that handle is the thing we hold on to feel safe. So what I hear you saying there is people have now got scientific thinking to hold on to feel safe when confronted with problems. So I think that's a key step to be. People always want to feel safe. So we give them a pattern of thinking, a scientific pattern of thinking, and we coach them in that, and that will help them feel more safe in the workplace when problems come up. I love that thought of yours. Well done. The way you describe that.
The next one, Jake, please. And this is just the execution is just reinforce what I just mentioned, right? The vision breakthrough, the system level improvement. So with the monthly and the weekly, and then the daily Gemba. The Gemba is that PDCA that flows into the Kata and then goes back. And Vince is gonna give more explanation on how we do it on the floor. So Vince, take it from here there.
Thanks, guys. This is very good. Keep going, obviously.
Yeah. Okay. So yeah. So to kick it off, just basically relaying what Diego had said. So while we go through with the Hoshin and the whole process, Diego would then define a goal. He would then set that onto his kata board, and he would set a target condition, which then would become my goal. So then this is how the cascade continues on down, right? So it goes straight down to my supervisors and then it stops there at my supervisors. And I'll explain on the next slide why that would stop. But here in the photos, you can see from the left to right, you can see, Diego is there. He's kind of coaching me. Even the board that we're using, it's still similar to the one that Oscar had us use during the class. But we've also kind of transitioned slowly over into the standard board that you typically see online. But we still use the whole thing that we've learned, and if you see, you'll see on the next slide, we still use it for the floor staff, the whole thing that we do with learning with Oscar. But over to the right side, you can see it's me kind of coaching my supervisors and then even my CI.
Perfect.
And then we go to the next one. So yeah, so then this is the Kata cascade up that we have. So basically it starts from the floor and it comes up. So we first start off by doing gembas on the floor to identify those obstacles. The obstacles are then onto the kata board. And then when we bring the floor staff to the kata board, that's when they define their meaningful goal, which is really key critical piece in there and them defining what the goal is. It's that it has to be meaningful. And then they choose an obstacle that we found during the Gemba, and then we set a target condition that they set on the floor. And like I said, it has to be meaningful to them, right? It has to be impactful for them so that they have the drive to want to do these experiments. And then as we go along, we do the PDCA, and then the cycle starts.
So just hold that slide if you don't mind. The two top left, the two pictures top left, there's a couple of things I really like about those. One is the boards out in the warehouse floor,
Yeah.
which is critical, not in a meeting room. That's fantastic. Well done. And I can see, I think on both of them, you've captured that image of the step ups, if you like, and the
Exactly.
obstacles. I presume, is that the obstacles written in red under each step?
Yep.
Yeah, so we've now got that image in our head of stepping towards the target condition, and and to be able to step up, we've got to remove the remove the obstacles, and we do that via PDCA. I love the way that's been illustrated there. And the charts that are in the middle, are they the data, like the
Yeah.
chart that just to
Yep. Those
the
are the data. Yeah.
yeah, beautiful. Yeah, they're the data associated with experiments and current condition.
Yep, exactly. We've had a lot coming from it. Like you had mentioned before, some people need a little bit more time, so it's not a rush, right? So not everybody can come up with a goal right away, So that's where we'll be like, hey, think about it for a day or two, and then we'll come back and we'll revisit, and then we'll make that goal, right? So um, even the whole process of training people on it is very much like kata. You just have to do those little bits with the staff, and eventually you'll get there.
So I think that's maybe, if you don't mind, there's a Franketeer has submitted a question, and it was in registration. And the question was, how do you prioritize the right work when starting? Well, I guess so. I mean, I think you're illustrating this. It's the focus of the people on the floor has been cascaded down from above, hasn't it? That's what's triggered their focus, if you like, or brought about their focus. It
Yeah.
hasn't been random.
No.
Is that a fair
No,
comment?
and yeah, it's all from the Gemba. It's if you do a proper Gemba, you get you're asking those proper questions, and then they're coming up with those solutions, or they're coming up with the obstacles, right? So
Okay.
it all ties into them, and it's not about anything specific. It's something meaningful to them, right? So when it's
Sure.
meaningful to them, then they always want their job to be easier, simpler, safer. They want all of that. So it's going to be coming from them.
It's interesting you say that. Yeah, when it's very rarely you see improvement where things haven't got easier, simpler, or safer. If
Yeah.
they've become more complex, then improvement's not going to sustain. I think that's key. One thing you did say then, Vincent, is you said if they do Gemba properly. What do
Yeah.
you mean by that?
Well, a lot of the time, for example, as we did Gemba and learned Gemba on the floor, especially when you're doing Gemba coaching, you pick up on things that it's just very natural for, say, for example, a supervisor to do, right? It's very natural for a supervisor to come in and tell them what the right thing to do is, right? But it's more along the lines of guiding them for them to understand what the right thing is, right? So that it's their idea, right? So if you go there and tell somebody that they did something wrong, you're walking away from the conversation with them feeling bad about themselves because they didn't do something properly. But if you walk away with them coming up with the idea, they don't feel that way, right? And then that's where it becomes meaningful to them.
Sure. And I don't know if you saw it, but our friend Tony Burns from the other side of the west of America in Oregon. No, 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 he's not in Oregon, is he? He's in Washington
Yeah.
State. So he's just put up a comment to say you're the best distribution center in Church and Dwight. So I hope you saw that.
No, I didn't see that, but
I
thank
see,
you,
I saw
Tony.
congratulations on that
that. Thank
comment.
you, Tony.
Have you got another slide to go? If not, I've got another question to give you.
Yeah, I
If
have one
we
more slide.
got one more,
Okay,
yeah.
away you go, Vincent.
Yeah, so the next one is just simply just the situation of one of the examples that we went through. So it's important to also note that we defined where we started with this based off of a value stream map that we did. So we started from when we have inventory in the building to shipping product out to a customer. So obviously, the first piece that we started with on the floor was the receiving side. So the situation was that the efficiency was below target for the receiving, and root causes for that was not consistent receiving performance, and the scientific thinking wasn't a routine. So how did we solve it? We set those meaningful goals, like I have mentioned before. We listed obstacles that we discovered along the way, and then we conducted those PDCAs to overcome those obstacles. And then as a result, the average efficiency that we had on 50% went to 80 in about 2.5, 3 months.
Wow,
Yeah.
that's not bad. I'm not surprised top management are giving you the support they are then, but they had the faith to get you started, which I think is a key thing. But the faith has been rewarded, which is fantastic. So, is that the end of your slides there, Vincent?
That's the end of mine. Yeah.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
think we
good.
got a couple quick ones if we have time, Oscar, or is it time for questions?
Well, there is a question here that I wouldn't mind asking.
Hmm.
That is, how do you? Oh no, I've covered that one. Just let me check. They've come in an email. What are some of the tips you would give for beginning or getting started with Kata? Getting started with scientific thinking. And what would be a couple of key tips? We've got 2 minutes from any of the three of you.
So some that I would say is honestly to be able to have that group and to practice amongst each other, right? It's really important to be able to do that. That's what I have before I had my supervisor start coaching the floor staff. I had them start coaching each other, right? So that they
Yeah, right.
had some sort of breaking ground as to what and how they were doing it, just to be able to make those breakthroughs. Because if you're not asking the right questions, then you're just looping in circles and you're going nowhere. So it's very
Yeah.
important to make sure that you're practicing amongst each other.
And I think the thing I've picked up on here that what I wasn't so aware of, but I'm much more aware of, is you've got vertical alignment in your at your site, and I think
Yeah.
that vertical you're all on the same page, basically, and I think that speaks volumes and makes a hell of a difference when leadership are all on the same page and all have the same intent and are all understanding the how and the why of scientific thinking. I think that would make a big difference. But sorry, I think Jacob, were you going to add something in there, or did I interrupt or not? No.
No, I was just gonna quickly show my slide because this might help kind of talk about it. So we actually started doing kata also in the office with our transportation team. It's a little bit different of how of an approach, right? Because we train, we work together, and we also did it as part of the onboarding. So as we were
Okay.
training and coaching her, I'll give you a quick quote that she said. She said, "Kata coaching helped me understand Church and Dwight's work culture, prepare for the monthly Hoshin review, connect with different departments, and most importantly, think scientifically. So just wanted to throw that quote out there because that's kind of how it applies in the office. It's a little bit slower of a coaching process. You're waiting on other things, that'll impact the results, but it is still valuable as a tool to coach and to develop people, right?
Yeah, right. And I see you've used it there for invoice management. That's brilliant. Look,
Mhm.
we're at the bottom of the hour,
Mhm.
that means time's up. To the three of you, I really enjoyed having you guys in the course in March. And what I have enjoyed even more is that you've taken what was started there and really accelerated it and have taken it to heart. And it's clearly become part of the way you guys think and operate. And I really appreciate the effort that the three of you have put in and the support from the Peters and the Tony Burnses and in doing so. So appreciate your time now. Thanks for putting this together, and yeah, as I said, much appreciated. And I've got a lot of personal reward for seeing the work you've done. So thanks for that.
Thank you, Oscar.
Yeah, no,
Thank you.
thank you, Oscar.
Right, thanks guys. Thanks Lean Frontiers. Thanks Skylar.
Thank you, everybody.
Thank you, everyone.
Quick reminder, you will receive a link from me within 24 to 48 hours to view the recording. We will see you all again soon. Thanks again. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Thank you.
All right, thank you.